Good morning, collective. How is my collective this morning? Hello. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Patience. I am your favorite spirit medium, host of Spirit News on Spotify and all major platforms. I always forget to say that because it's new. So thank you so much for all our supporters and for all our new subscribers. Thank you so much for being here. We're so grateful to have you. I am Patience, that's my name. I'm here with my very own spirit team, the Guild of the Golden Triangle. We have made 1:11 on the clock. We have made a podcast for you together, where we gather the information on our healer's journey, on our journey to develop our spiritual gifts, and we put and document all our observations and all of the knowledge given to us, and we put it there on our Spirit News podcast, bringing you higher perspectives of linear views. Spirit News. I don't know why it makes me laugh every time I say that. It's just so catchy, 1:44 on the clock. So we are developing our spiritual gift. We have been guided by our spirit team to use this platform as a way to develop our intuition, our spiritual abilities that we've had since we were a child. We believe here, there we go, excuse me. We believe here at Spirit News that everybody has spiritual abilities. Your non-physical energy, your soul, everybody has a soul. It is what animates you. It is electromagnetic, and it is the medium or the conduit. 222. Oh my gosh, 222. I wrote that down because 222 has been coming up all for the last month. Is the medium or the conduit in which you perceive information. And there's a whole slew of non-physical information out there that is something you can tap into, something you can read, because when you lose this body, when this body dies, your non-physical energy will still remain. You can hear without using your ears. You can see without using your eyes. You can smell without using your nose. You can taste without using your mouth. But we come here to have a physical, limited time here to try to remember who we are, to try to lift the veil, and come back to our awareness of who we are, our conscious awareness. So we're doing that. We're placing our focus on doing that, and instead of doing it by ourselves and thinking we know everything and thinking that we have all the answers, we are admitting that we don't have all the answers, and we're asking our spirit team for guidance, and we're actually taking their advice in real time and documenting it for you. We have a TikTok. If you want to go to any of our socials, you can find them all in the link tree in the description bar. We'd love to have you. We have random things in there, but it's fun. We'd love for you to be a part of our community. And we're just like you. We're searching for the truth. We're trying to be a good person. We're trying to live through our heart, because we're moving from the head to the heart in consciousness, in energy. And when it comes down to it, this whole universe puts energy before anything, before religion, before money, before cars, before any of that. So that's what we think is important, and that's what we're showing you, and not to do it like us, but to show you that it's being done. Okay. So I have somebody who wants to talk today, and I decided not to post when or who I was going to talk to, because I didn't want the energy to be susceptible to any nasty, things, nasty little suckers that try to, thwart the energy, that try to thwart the truth. So I was just doing an experiment, see if it would be a different vibe when I came here. And it is a different vibe, because unfortunately, there are energies out there that don't want, things to be said, that don't want people to do what they do, that don't, I don't even want to give them too much energy or focus, because it's quantum. Got a problem? Yeah, that's quantum. Level up, concern, that's bottom. you know, so it's not even a big deal, but it is fun to like experiment with to see how energy works. And I can definitely feel a difference in the energy. Usually I feel this pressure on my face and this like stuffiness, so it feels good right now. So I'm glad I did that. I might have to stop announcing who comes to me for these readings, which I want everyone to be a part of it. We post every weekend, Saturday, Sunday. I might stop telling you who ahead of time wants to come forward, but that's okay. We'll go with the flow. However God sees fit, I will follow, I will receive, and I will follow, okay? So we're talking to Kyle Marissa Roth. Now I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I did not know who this was in the beginning. When I first got her, I had heard of her a couple times because I watch Sloan. He's the gossip YouTuber. Why does my thing look so dark? I'm not sure why
influences the atmosphere.
Oh.
17.
I'm not sure why my screen is so dark, but oh, there we go. Sorry. Oh my gosh, 1, 2, and I have 1, 2, 2. Oh my god. Okay, I gotta get into this. So, Kyle Marissa Roth is here, I pulled her up. She is a TikToker. And I found out who she was because Sloan, they do the same spiel. They do the celebrity gossip, you know, on YouTube. I think he has like over 1 million followers or something. I think he's adorable. He's adorable. He's adorbs. I like his vibe. I like his like innocence, his innocent, naive little vibe. I like that. So, but they do the same thing, except she did it on TikTok. But she died. Yeah, she died of cardiac arrhythmia or irregular heartbeat from mycardiofibrosis, which is basically a heart attack. She had a heart attack at age 36, you guys. Now, I don't know her history. I haven't watched her. I didn't want to get too much more information. 22. 22. I wrote 222. There's something going on with 222, you guys. I'm gonna tell you in 1 second. Actually, I'll tell you now. So, before I get into Kyle, if you guys watch me, you know, which thank you if you do, and thank you if you're new here. Thanks for being here. I did a reading with Aaron Carter last weekend, and the reading was interesting. He died 11/22. He died November 2022. Then the next day I did a reading on the Idaho 4. The tragedy at the Idaho College with the 4 college students who died in November 2022. And their address is, guess what? 11/22. Okay? Super strange. That's 3 11/22s. And I keep getting 222. And so I just thought that was weird. But then also, get this. I was meditating on the energy, trying to get a vibe for what we're going to talk about with Kyle. And I have this Unfuck Yourself calendar from 2024. So I was like, well, let me look up the date today because it's April 5th. I'll just look up the date today. Even though it's 2024, I'll look up the date for today. And I would look to see, I put her name into the Google, and she died in April 14th. Something just popped up on my screen for Google. That was weird. I don't know if I like that. Holy Divine Spirit, Archangel Michael, please protect my field from any weirdness that isn't for the highest good of the collective. She passed in April. I don't want to say died because there's no such thing as death. 22! 1022! I cannot make it up, you guys. I cannot make it up. I can't make it up. So, I don't know what that means. I'm just going to take it as a synchronicity. I'm going to take it as a sign that we're going in the right direction. Okay. So, she passed away from a heart attack at 36. I don't know any other information about her. I don't know. I've never seen her TikToks. I'm just going by the energy, okay? So I realized that she passed away. She wanted to come to me. She has a message. So I'm going to do my best to bring her message forward, and we'll see what she wants us to know. I did have a dream last night, and a couple things happened during the week after she came to me, after her energy came to me.
You will.
I kept thinking about my ex.
Alfred.
I kept thinking about my ex, who I never think about, who's quantum, is this bottom of the barrel, never think about him. Like, it was so long ago. Like, I have kids now, I'm married. It was like, more than 10 years ago, more than 15 years ago. Okay. But when I was thinking about her, I thought about him. And then as I was driving, I saw on a license plate, it said ODX. And I was like, okay, like EX. So I was like, that's funny. And then this morning I was dreaming about the same ex, except it was him, not him, So I was like, okay. And we had both discovered this secret game, that, and in the dream, and I'm not saying this is literal, but this could be a metaphor for something, or symbolic of something. Excuse me. In the dream, we were playing a secret game, and it was almost like we didn't even like each other, but this game that we played brought us together. And when we would play it, it would be fun. We're like friends almost. But almost that feeling of not even wanting to be friends, but, we have this really cool thing that we both found together that we both want to do. Let's do it together and just make the best of it and ignore for now the disconnection between us. It kind of felt like that. And then the ex, I went to the game, because in the dream, the game is like a real life game that you can jump, and it's like another world. And I went to the game that we both found, and he brought somebody new. And I wasn't mad about it, but I was thinking about the lives for the game, because once you lose your lives for the game, that's it. You can't play again. So we were really careful about how we were playing. I don't know if this is relevant, but I'm just gonna say it for the data in case it comes out. And so we were making his new friend, who's a girl, nervous, because we're like, don't die, because if you die, that's it. You're not gonna be able to play again. We're not gonna be able to play again. You can play, but don't die, because you're gonna, we were just pressuring her to not die. And then I heard my dog barking.
I don't know where to go.
And then I heard my dog barking to go outside, so I woke up.
Ignites the flame of consciousness.
Ignites the flame of consciousness. Thank you. And then this is the last thing, and then we'll get into the reading. I was clicking on the tabs I have to do the research for what Spirit was sending me. So I put in Kyle, Marissa, Roth, and then I had a tab open for Aaron Carter's reading, for Tyla Water Lyrics. And it's funny because I wonder if I can show you. Let me see if I can show you. So So on the screen,
Coming through it.
on the screen, hold on. The only words that are lit up is talk is cheap. And all the other words aren't lit up. And I'm like, that's so weird. Talk is cheap. And then after that it says, so show me. And when I read that, Spirit said penultimately. And I was like, what the heck is penultimately? And I looked it up. Sorry, took you for a little trip. And I looked it up, and it means in the position that is just before the last, or in the context of words, stressed on the syllable before the last syllable. Penultimately indicates that something is in that next to last position. Next to the last. It just means next to the last. So if we're speaking literally, talk is cheap is next to the last, the next to the last phrase, so show me. Talk is cheap, so show me. So I don't know, something about some secret game, talk is cheap, so show me. Something like that. I'm not sure where it's gonna go from there, but those are the things that came to me. So it could have something. She could be wanting to say something about an ex playing a secret game, maybe perhaps threatening her, or someone threatening her, and her, saying talk is cheap, show me, like whatever, I'm not afraid of you, something like that. Okay. And she was 36, she had a heart attack, which is very strange. Okay. I don't know if she had history of irregular heartbeat, or if that's something that came on. Like, I'm not sure about that. I didn't want to do too much research. But so then I looked up April 5th on the 2024 calendar, which she died in April 2024, which I didn't know until I opened this. We never really have all the facts. As humans, we still only understand a tiny fraction of our own minds, let alone the world or the oceans or space or technology. If someone tells you they have all the answers, call them out on that bullshit. The truth is they're winging it, just like you, just like everyone else. Yeah. And that's why I said at the beginning, I don't know everything. I really don't. I'm documenting this journey to show you what works for us, and how we're following spirit guidance through our heart space. We're not doing rituals. We're not doing magic. We're not doing weird things. We're being a good person. We're choosing kindness. We're choosing love. Oh, I got a ringing in my ear. Okay. So there's something about her not having all the facts about something, or someone doing something they claimed that they had all the answers about. This could be the secret game that's being referred to. Some kind of secret game that an ex may have said they have all the answers to. I'm not sure. So we're gonna find out. All right. Kyle Marissa Roth, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you to Holy Divine Spirit for connecting us. I'm so grateful and honored to bring the messages forward. Kyle Marissa Roth. I keep wanting to say Kyle Miranda Roth. I don't know why.
Jaded realist.
Thank you so much for being here with Archangel Michael. I invite you into my energy field so we can share energy, so you can tell us what you want us to know. What do you want us to know? Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. So let's see. Let's do... What do I want to do? Oh my god, I have so many options. It's almost overwhelming. I don't know. I'm being called to do these utter nonsense cards. We'll do these utter nonsense cards. Tell me. Kyle Marissa Roth. What do you want us to know, girl? What's up, boo? Oh. My father told me to do something well or not do it at all. Okay. I haven't done a damn thing since. My father told me to do something well or not do it at all. So she may have been somebody who went all in on something when she felt very passionate about something, or even if somebody said she couldn't do something, she may have been the kind of person that would do it anyway, just to show them that she could do it.
Disappointed.
She may have started doing something that her family may have found disappointing or may not have liked her doing. To find the keys to the treasure chest, first locate the hut where you'll come to a door. Ignore the door. See the stairs, but don't use them. Turn left. Wait, the chest is unlocked. Never mind. She may have been somebody who was always trying to find the truth, but doing it the hard way, doing something the hard way. Maybe not finding, how do I say this? Always expecting it to be hard or to be difficult when she could have just opened the, this is implying that,
Silent.
thank you. This is implying that she just always did things the hard way instead of thinking of other easier ways it could be. It was always the hardest way, or it could also. I have to say this is for entertainment purposes only. I cannot prove any of this. This is all allegedly, and I don't get paid for this. I'm not saying this for any kind of money or clout. We're saying this to transmute the energy and just to bring forward lost loved ones that want to come forward with a message. Okay. She may be saying that she found something. She found the keys to a treasure chest. Or she found some kind of information that could have been considered like a treasure. She may have went to somebody with this information and ignored some kind of advice that she was given. She started to perhaps overthink something, and she may have unlocked some kind of negative thinking or negative emotions to something. Her dad may have told her to not do something that was dangerous or something that he didn't feel would be beneficial, or someone in her family. I can juggle flaming cheese, no big deal, you guys. But she didn't take it seriously. It doesn't have to be her father. It could be some kind of masculine authority figure. Could have told her not to do something. Or, oh my gosh, that may go to the song I said, talk is cheap, so show me. She may have been threatened, you guys. She may have been threatened because she found something out and she located some kind of key to a door that she couldn't ignore. She may have been told, don't go down here, don't go through this door. You don't want what's on the other side. And she was like, talk is cheap, so show me. I can juggle flaming cheese, no big deal, you guys. She may have thought she could handle some kind of big uptaking that she found something, some kind of key. She thought it wasn't a big deal. She didn't believe that it was a big deal. It was ignoring the signs. Brody is a nappy-headed hair farmer, but the flying burrito painted on his board is pretty righteous. That's so weird. It says painted and Spirit said painting. Brody is a nappy-headed hair farmer, but the flying burrito painted on his board is pretty righteous. Hmm. She may have found somebody with information or some kind of, she may have located somebody who had information that she couldn't ignore. Somebody who may have given her the illusion of righteousness, or someone she wanted to stand up for, or someone she felt righteous about. Being at a water park is like watching a bad body contest for white people. Being at a water park is like watching a bad body contest for white people. There's something here about her having negative thoughts about herself, possibly. Also, she may have had an emotional attachment for disappointing her parents or her family, or something. Someone in her family may have thought that what she did was embarrassing, and may have frowned upon perhaps her TikTok fame or what she did on TikTok. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and I still haven't bought Kelly that Velform sauna belt. Yeah, something about an ex. I told you. 1800s. Something about an ex. Something about an ex who was always procrastinating, who was not, I mean, there's a reason why people become our exes, right? So there may be something about an ex that had not, says Velform sauna belt, that may have been attached to her, that couldn't let go of her, or that was still not over her. Okay, it could have been they were reminiscing about how bad they were as a companion, never doing the proper things, never showing up the way they were supposed to show up, possibly very dramatic, making things more complicated, perhaps juggling her. They could have cheated on her. I've never pulled an all-nighter, but my snatch sure has. She's funny. She's a funny girl. Almost like comedian-ish. I've never pulled an all-nighter, but my snatch sure has. Last night I was so beat and blutered that I passed out in the alley. This morning it was all picture and no sound with the misses. Something about her ex doing something when he was drunk. He may have been jealous of her moving on and seeing her TikTok fame or something like that. And it may have put him in a lot of emotional drunk nights where he'd pass out, where he was promiscuous, or where he'd pull all-nighters. And this is bait, so I don't know what he was doing, but he was messed up because she was his ex, and she's starting to gain fame on social media. He was reminiscing about how he mistreated her and was suddenly, very attached to how he messed it up. Something like that. There's also something here about a, f- a family member or a masculine energy authority figure. It could be it could be a father, doesn't have to, who is also disappointed in the content of her TikTok. There could have been some kind of embarrassment there. Okay, so that's what I have so far. So I told you, yeah, there's something about an ex, and I don't know. It could be somebody who once had an authority over her that she got away from, that didn't treat her right, that may have cheated on her. That's coming out. Okay. Tell me about this ex. What do you want us to know about him? What does he have to do with this? Tell me about this ex. This ex may paint himself as being some righteous person with some kind of skill set, but they're really just some kind of like hippy dippy pothead person or something. Fifth house, performance, entertainment. I told you. Love affairs. Yep, fifth house, passion.
I don't know how I died. 16.
Mercury, communication. Words, thoughts, analysis, information, learning. Reporting. Yes, she would report celebrity narratives, and she was known for reporting or for investigating curious things going on in the celebrity world. She may have learned of something. She may have learned of something, that some kind of secret or treasure or some kind of information that she considered a treasure, because she was very passionate about what she did on her social media. She was very passionate about it. It was something that she found was fun, was entertaining, something that she was good at. Okay, and she was a good communicator. She was good with her words. She was good with her analyzing of her thoughts. She could bring together information, and people like that about her. She was very perceptive. She had very intuitive curiosity that brought her to some kind of information that she couldn't ignore. She couldn't ignore the door. She was told to not go down this route. She may have been threatened to not go there. Okay. She may have received some kind of communication that warned her to not go through that, and she said, I can juggle flaming cheese, it's no big deal, you guys. She may have told someone in her family about this threat, and her family may have been concerned about things she was unlocking, doors she was going through, things, keys she was finding to unlock certain doors. Okay. Yeah. She wants me to do the word tiles. We'll do the word tiles. See what comes out. Kyle Marissa Roth, thank you so much. What is this information you found? She was 36. She died of a heart attack, which is odd. Approach. Out. Approach out.
first.
Queasy.
I had a long life.
Approach out. Queasy. Mishap. Me. Approach out. Mishap. Approach out. Queasy. Mishap. Me. Garden. Load. Rhythm. Arrhythmia. Cardiac arrhythmia. Rhythm. Dream. I dreamt about her ex. Guide. The dream was a guide. Being a guide. Group. Dream, being, guide about a group. Juicy. Juicy search. Yeah, she'd give the latest juicy gossip tea about things she'd search about. But search, but what? She was being guided to, she was following her intuition about a group she was researching about. She may have been approached outside and got queasy when she met somebody who approached her. But anatomy.
Right foot.
Right foot. But anatomy. Garlic. Garlic's good for the heart.
Wallet.
Garlic. She may have been approached.
11.
Oh, 11. Thank you. Spirit said wallet. And right when she said wallet, I thought of money. She may have been approached outside while she was just doing something normal by somebody because she was following her intuition. She may have had a dream and was being guided to a group to research about. And she may have been approached and was offered, she could have been offered some money to stop talking about it. And that made her queasy. She didn't want to accept money for telling the truth. Nondescript. And then I have anatomy and garlic. And I have rhythm. So, cardiac arrhythmia, anatomy, garlic, nondescript. Garlic is good for the heart. They say to eat garlic for heart care. Object. Checkers. Checkers. Give me 2 more. Because. Checkers because. Possess. Object possess. Approach out, queasy mishap, me, garden, load, rhythm, dream, being, guide, group, search, but, anatomy, garlic, nondescript, object, checkers, because, possess. Someone approached her because she found some kind of treasure chest. She located some kind of key to a door she couldn't ignore. She may have found somebody who was willing to talk to her about neighborhood. Yeah, she may have found somebody that
Waiting room.
was willing to talk to her about something on her TikTok because she had a big audience about something that she was researching about about a group. She was approached outside when she was doing something really normal, possibly could have been offered money to not speak out or to talk to somebody. That made her queasy. When she didn't accept this offer, she got a queasy feeling that something mishap that made something. That's when they could have been threatened about how
Please, don't leave me.
about how she's going to regret if she goes forward with this information. She may have played the tough card and said, talk is cheap, so show me. And this may have given her an overload of negative thoughts, causing her stress, which led to arrhythmia in her heart. Stress is a cause for arrhythmia. What is cardiac arrhythmia? Stress, sleep disorder, certain medications, imbalances, electrical imbalances in the heart. This stress may have given her arrhythmia. Because she was following her intuitive guidance about a group that she was dreaming about, or they were coming to her in her dreams, or she was being guided to research about our group, but her anatomy was starting to have nondescript things happen to it because they're playing a game, trying to possess her, possibly in the dream state. And that's so funny because just yesterday I was given a awareness from spirit of a story about Anton LaVey. And there's a YouTube channel that I love called Almost Famous, where they interview people with strange stories that have experienced supernatural things, or who have gone out of their way to dabble in dark arts and stuff. And he interviewed a pastor who helped deliver the daughter of Anton LaVey, Ray LaVey, who's now known as DJ something else. But she's been delivered from her satanic ritual abuse that she experienced with her father. And he went into this story, and he's a pastor, like currently. He's currently a pastor. Man, I wish I had his name. You can go to Almost Famous YouTube channel and see this. It has the picture of Anton LaVey in the cover photo. But Anton LaVey was not the creator, but he created the Church of Satan or something, and he was very versed at astral projection, and he was very versed at going into people's dreams, and he could do that, and that this is a real thing that happens. So there's something about some kind of energy or group approaching her, perhaps in her dreams, or trying to possess her, or playing some kind of energy game with her, that affected her anatomy, her heart, her arrhythmia, her heart rhythm, because trying to possess her, or trying to, I don't know, get her out of her body or something. Okay. Okay. Didn't see it go in that direction. But okay, I'm here for it. What else? So, she didn't take the money. And that put her in a sticky situation because she wanted to do what's right, but she also doesn't know anything about energy. And these people very well could know everything about the spiritual realm. That was another thing in the interview. The pastor was, God wanted him to prepare himself for spiritual warfare, and he didn't believe it. He wasn't listening to God's, he wasn't receiving the messages from God to do what he needed to do to prepare to receive Ray LeVay and to be able to deliver her, because this group is very well versed in that stuff, and he didn't, that wasn't part of his world, and he didn't ever expect to go that direction. And so he didn't want to encounter such, or do research on such dark things. He didn't want to be part of that, but God was calling him to do it because he was going to be the deliverer of somebody who is so entrenched in that world that he would need to know that this stuff anyway. And the things he encountered was completely supernatural. And so there's something about her unlocking a door that she had no knowledge of. And it goes back to the unfuck yourself. It says right here, we never really have all the facts. As humans, we still only understand a tiny fraction of our own minds, let alone the world, or the oceans, or space, or technology. If someone tells you they have all the answers, call them out on that bullshit. The truth is they're winging it, just like you, just like everyone else. So that was her. She was winging it. She didn't understand the level of what these people could do. So when she was threatened, she said, talk is cheap. Show me. I don't believe you. You're not going to do nothing to me. What are you going to do? Because she was not understanding energy. So there's something about that, you guys. Okay. Tell me more. So, just like the pastor in the interview, he didn't understand what he was encountering when it comes to spiritual warfare. She may have been under spiritual warfare. She may have felt multiple times strange arrhythmias in her heart, but not had been able to connect the dots as to why she was like, I can juggle flaming cheese, no big deal. She could have not wanted to give up, but she didn't know this was happening to her. So there may have been many times where she didn't feel well, but she didn't equate it to this situation. She spoke out against people that didn't want her speaking, and someone threatened her because she found out she was about to find gossip. I cannot make it up. Gossip. Because she was a gossip journalist. She had a huge following on TikTok, and someone wanted to stop the gossip. I have house in reverse, so she was scared. She had no comfort. She didn't understand what was happening to her. She had anxiety about what was going on. She was restless. She felt like she didn't simulated reality. She didn't want anything to happen to her family. So she may have isolated herself. She may have cast herself away so she wouldn't so her family wouldn't be hurt. There could be a cancer involved, or she was in a lot in her emotions. She didn't know. She could have been having scary dreams. They could have been coming to her in her dreams, giving her scary dreams. When you're under spiritual warfare, it's not going to be like some some mafia hitman coming after you with a gun. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be really mental. It's going to be very in your head. It's going to be intrusive thoughts. It's going to be scary dreams. It's going to be weird, bruises on your body and whelps, and it's going to be non-physical, because spiritual warfare is non-physical, and it's going to enhance your most deepest fear. So if your most deepest fears and insecurities will be amplified, your thought, it will target those things, and it will make you stress out, make you lose sleep. It's gonna break you down in that way. So there's something about her being in that state and her worried about her family because of some kind of gossip. She didn't know where to go. She didn't know who to turn to. She didn't think anyone would believe her. She was feeling isolated. Nobody would understand what she's going through. But that's not true. I wish I wish she was around and we would have known each other. Could have definitely helped her. When you're in spiritual warfare, and it's probably because she gossiped about, celebrities, and we all know, everybody knows what that world does to receive that level of recognition, okay? We all know. It's not a secret now, okay? Everybody knows. She could have found some kind of information out, or a person or something that was going to she was going to bring on her TikTok, and someone could have found out about that, and that's what put her in this position. And she didn't understand. She didn't believe it. She said, talk is cheap. Show me, you want to act all tough. You want to threaten me and my family. I don't believe you. She didn't believe it at first. And so that opened her up. It says right here, open the door. That opened up a door she couldn't ignore. She started to see the signs. She started to see weird things happening. She started to feel it inside of her body. She was having weird dreams. She possibly could have been being guided by her guides to get out of the situation. But the thing is, if you have, like, in my own experience, and I can only speak from my own experience, when I realized spiritual warfare was happening to me, I had no idea about it. I had absolutely no idea about it. And thank God I had already had, because I'm a childhood psychic, so I already knew that world existed. I just ignored it for a long time, and I started to develop later in life that part of myself because I didn't want to ignore it anymore. But if you've never had any experience in that, and you've never even experienced supernatural things, or even had that awareness, then you wouldn't even think of it, because you need to be aware of it to even identify it, or to even address it. You have to have an awareness of it. And that's why we talk about anything that spirit brings up on here, because if you don't have the awareness of it, how can you even approach the problem? How can you even have it if it's not in your awareness? So just being aware gives you power over these types of powers. Having a slight bit of awareness gives you power over it. She didn't have that, so she didn't know where to go, where to turn to. She was scared. She didn't have the type of friends she needed with the information she needed to be able to overcome this situation. But she wants to say that she had a very good life. She had a very good life. Life was sweet. She really loved her life. She loved her family. She loved her friends. She had very uplifting, positive friends. She had a lot of goodness around her. The only thing that made her susceptible to this energy is her lack of awareness of it. And her, this kind of energy can affect you more when you don't believe it. When you dismiss it and you think that it's ridiculous and that's just for movies, that puts you in an energy of being more susceptible to it. If you were to just approach it like, okay, supernatural things happen, how can I address it or know if it's happening to me? And then that way you're not giving it like too much energy, but you're also having an awareness that it is a possibility, and that helps you to not be susceptible to if you get attacked by spiritual warfare. but she wants everyone to know that she had a good life. She was very happy. She had positive, uplifting friends. This was not something that she planned. This is not something that anyone needs to worry if she was happy about. She was very happy. She stars. She was just she was just put in spiritual warfare and didn't have the slightest idea of what the hell was happening to her. That's all. I mean, not all, but crossroads. Yeah, she had some kind of choice she had to make that instead of involving her friends and family, she decided to separate herself. But the thing is when you do that, that makes you more susceptible when you separate yourself from people who love you, from people you feel safe with, instead of confiding in them, or at least receiving love from them. That actually isolates you and makes you more susceptible to spiritual warfare, because spiritual warfare can only affect you if you're matching that energy. So if you're in a state of fear, stress, you're letting these intrusive thoughts, you're not transmuting these intrusive thoughts that they like to amplify, then you will be an energetic match to that energy, and it will make you more susceptible to it. But if you surround yourself with loving family and friends, then you're in a love frequency, and that's not something they match to. So if you isolate yourself because you're trying to protect your family, friends, God's going to protect you if you choose love. If you choose to surround yourself with people who make you feel safe and loved, you don't have to tell them that you're going through spiritual warfare, but you can let them uplift you with their spirit, with their energy, because you know that they love you. And that will make you protected from this type of stuff. She wants us to know that. You don't have to do anything back to combat spiritual warfare. All you have to do is not allow negative thoughts or negative energy I don't know the word, overcome you. You have to be able to discern what is an intrusive thought and what is true and what is not. And when you isolate yourself and make yourself alone, it makes you more susceptible, because you don't have anyone to reflect off of. You don't have anyone there to get you out of it, to help transmute that thought or that energy. Give me one more. So her heart attack could have been caused by spiritual warfare, energy manipulation. Frog Princess, heed wise counsel, listen in reverse.
I'm around the corner.
Yeah. She didn't know how to come out of this. She didn't know who to talk to. She didn't know who to get advice from, because she had no idea that it was spiritual warfare. She had no idea. Wow. That's crazy. Tell me more. What else do you want us to know? Triggers, flashbacks, trauma bond, inner child wounds, attracting toxic. Yeah. She could have. That's how spiritual warfare works. If you don't want to be attacked, then you have to heal your guilt, shame, your insecurities. You have to know that you're pure positive energy having a human experience. You're a divine spark of infinite potential having a limited experience. If you don't allow yourself to heal certain things, they will amplify those triggers, those toxic behaviors, those toxic thoughts. Anything that matches them, they can see it like a beacon. It's like they can smell it on you, and they say, "Oh, okay, we're gonna, use this to make her get deeper into her, lower self, her shadow self, to make her more scared, to fear." It's fear, that's the only way they can affect you. If you're not afraid, if you know that you're supported and you're loved, and There's nothing that can hurt you. She could have not been affected by this. And that's why it's really important to us to speak about these things, because you have to reveal to heal. If you are not aware that there's people out there who use spiritual warfare, you can be affected by it and you won't have any idea what's happening. I'm not saying every person is going through spiritual warfare, but I mean, I did. I did. And it happens. It really does happen. And it happened to her. That's possibly why, no, it's not possible, it is why she came easily to me, because we have a connection in that way. That's the way energy works. Anchor, yeah, told you. Holding it together, getting a grip, heaviness, chained up. Yeah, she was trying to hold it together, but how do you blind? Yeah, I just saw blind. Family, yeah, she didn't want her family to get hurt. She was angry. She was angry that she did this to herself.
Shut it.
She didn't know how to shut the door to the spiritual warfare. She opened herself up. She made the decision. She didn't want to put her family in danger, so she isolated herself because she didn't want her family to get hurt. But when she isolated herself, it gave her more stress. She could have perhaps started thinking about her ex, and that could have been a main cause of the pain that was inflicted upon her. So it started magnifying the dismissal her ex gave her, the secrets. It could have opened a door to those feelings she felt with her ex, because that was a very big part of her healing that she thought she moved on from, but she didn't. She felt trapped and stuck. What happened was, yeah, they sought revenge on her because she was going to out some kind of information, and she was a muse on the internet. People really gathered to her. They tether dreams, yeah. And because she denied their offer of some kind of money, it created a tether to them. They put a tether on her, so they were able to come into her dreams, create drama for her. Perhaps, how it happens is spiritual warfare is, how do I explain this? So you encounter somebody who understands the spirit realm, who understands energy. When they want something from you, or they want you to influence you in some way, they will use energy to manipulate people you care about. So everybody is going to have some kind of shadow aspect thing about them, some kind of trauma. That's why we come here, to overcome that. Symphonic, thank you. And
I'm casting shadows.
I'm casting shadows on the corner. And so those insecurities, those unhealed things will be like beacons to those who are using spiritual warfare. It'll be like a beacon, and they will be able to read it. They will be able to read it intuitively, and they'll use it against you, and then they'll infiltrate your family and your lovers and your friends, and they will use your friends and family's shadows, or the two paths cross, to infiltrate your energy, and they'll create arguments, and they'll create toxic things in your life, and you won't understand what's happening. It'll just feel like everyone's against you. Well, the insecurity for Kyle was that her family already felt a certain kind of way about her TikTok, and she had also some kind of like image insecurities, and she had a wound that wasn't healed yet from an ex, and so they amplified all those things and could have made arguments and stresses outside of herself that she was attaching herself to, that were amplified by the threat of this energy confirmation. And so when she was threatened, she said, talk is cheap. So show me. Well, they started showing her, and she was in denial. I have denial here. She was in denial about the connection of all the things she was experiencing to this, because she didn't understand how that's possible, because she doesn't know anything about spiritual warfare or energy or spirituality or any of that. So she is witnessing these supernatural effects happening outside of herself, affecting her loved ones. She decides to isolate herself because she doesn't understand what's going on, but she doesn't want her family and friends to be hurt. Her family and friends are viewing this as some kind of I don't want to say retaliation, but some kind of drama. She's being very dramatic. She's being, drama. She's creating a lot of drama. She's overreacting, okay? But in her eyes, she's trying to protect them. So she's creating arguments and stuff to separate herself because she doesn't want her family to get hurt. But that's creating stress for her, because they also attack you through intrusive thought. They make you think things and they come into your dream state and they scare you and they attack you energetically. She could have been waking up with bruises and welts. And so she's in denial, refusing to face that this is real. This is something that's real. She has no idea who to go to. She has no idea how to transmute it, or that she even can. And so her fear is growing and growing. And what that does is it creates an arrhythmia in her heart. She gave herself a heart attack. Or she didn't give herself one, but the energy manipulation and the fear tactics used in spiritual warfare gave her the heart attack. And that's what happened. Is there anything you want to say about the information you found? It was her obsession. She couldn't let it go. Something she found was an obsession. She couldn't let it go. We would never really have all the facts. As humans, we still only understand a tiny fraction of our own minds, let alone the world, or the oceans, or space, or technology. She was trying to understand something. She was obsessed with trying to get some kind of information that she wasn't getting a higher perspective of. And so she was getting exactly what she wanted, but she wasn't ready to deal with the information. And that has a lot to do with getting what you want, whether you want it or not. And that's why we teach you about soul integration. And when you start how to be a master manifestor, you have to be in a heart space first. If she had found out this information that she was obsessed with bringing forward on her TikTok, that was connected to spiritual warfare, if she had gotten herself in a heart space first, she would have been protected from any of this spiritual warfare that was directed at her, and her family would have been protected too. You have to be in a heart space when you want something first, because if you get it, you will get it whether you want it or not, and you'll have to experience the repercussions of what it is you wanted in the energy you were in when you wanted it. Does that make sense?
Sinister shadows.
You will attract what you're matched to. So unfortunately, she had not healed a lot of things in her astral body, in her emotional body, her mental body. There were things that used what was there, that matched it, to amplify the fear within her that consumed her, that helped her receive a heart attack. Does that make sense? So I'm not saying that every manifestation you have is going to give you a heart attack, but I'm just saying that when it comes to spiritual warfare, you can absolutely transmute that energy and not be a match to it, just by healing, just by understanding your insecurities and knowing that they're not true, just by not being a match to that, or having awareness that that's even happening. That can also help you transmute it. But when you have attachments, emotional attachments, hang-ups that you haven't overcome, that you haven't transmuted, that you're not over, they use those things in you and people around you to amplify that fear in you, and then you attract that fear. And that's what we're trying to tell you in this situation. That's what she's teaching us. That's the lesson here, is that you will get what you want. The universe will give you what you're thinking of, whether you want it or not. Oh, does that make sense? You will get what you're thinking of, whether you want it or not. So it's very important to know what thoughts are yours and what thoughts are not yours, to have discernment, to develop your intuition through your emotions to help you understand what's yours and what's not yours. She did not understand that, and she allowed her thoughts to consume her because she was receiving intrusive thoughts through spiritual warfare that she didn't know were not her own, because it already matched things that she already had inside of her that she had not overcome yet. So that's how it works. All right, Kyle, in retrospect, having looked at your life review, what are things you would have done differently? What would you have done differently now that you're able to get a higher perspective? Delusion.
I will try.
Delusion. Intention without surrender can be a fast path to delusion. She could not. She's seeing now that how her denial of spiritual things, or that this is happening to her, actually created a delusion. It made her live in this reality where she couldn't grasp, she couldn't understand that there are supernatural forces at play that can affect you through spiritual warfare. And she was receiving that, and she thought she was being delusional, and she was in denial that it was happening, and she couldn't bridge the two worlds together. And that really exacerbated the fear within her, because that was so far outside of her realm that it just wasn't, she wasn't able to conceive it. So it amplified her fear about what she was going through. Okay, what else? Sometimes you just have to be an observer. Spirit said attached. You have to be an observer of what's happening. I trust in my gifts. I told you she was very intuitive. That's how she came to whatever door she opened, whatever information she got. She was following her intuition. She was being guided to that information. But she was ignoring other things that were happening at the same time, in denial of it. So it created a delusion that she had no sanctity, she had no safety, she wasn't going to be safe, nobody's safe, I can't help my family. It was like a snowball effect. Instead of trusting that she's loved, she's safe, there's nothing that's going to happen to her, instead of nurturing those thoughts, she nurtured the thoughts that they're going to get me, there's, all these things are happening, and so it was a snowball effect. It's safe for you to shine. Yeah, she didn't have thoughts of being safe. She didn't have thoughts of being okay, of being protected. She didn't have thoughts of, she was in the fear of, I have 14 on the clock. She died April 14th. She was not watching her thoughts. She had a lot of intrusive thoughts. And so, like I said, whatever you think, the universe is going to bring to you, whether you want it or not. So that's why it's really important to meditate, so you can learn how to focus your thought, so you can learn how to transmute a negative thought. So if a negative thought comes in, or an intrusive thought, you can say, no, my life is good, I'm safe, I'm protected, I am loved, I am happy, I'm healthy, I am wealthy, I'm abundant. You have to do that consciously. If you're allowing and feeding the negative thoughts, then that's a vibration, that's a frequency, that's going to be a match to anything that wants to attach itself to you. Okay, so she, instead of being an observer of things that she was experiencing that may have been hard for her to understand. She was attaching herself to them, and she thought she was being delusional. She thought she was seeing things. She thought she was going crazy, basically. But she wasn't. I was called here on a mission. Yeah, she built her TikTok to reveal truth, and that's what God wanted of her, and she was following that. But there was another aspect of it where she wasn't doing the work to heal herself from energies. When you open yourself up to such a large audience, to worldwide, that's the thing with social media, is you have to understand energy. When you are sharing energy with such a worldwide audience, you're going to be susceptible to negative things. You have to understand how to transmute that and how to separate yourself from that and how to be an observer. Divine love. I told you she was on a divine mission, but she didn't understand anything about the spiritual world. Okay, she wasn't grounded. She had insecurities. She got her TikTok when she was still healing some things. And so when you have the illusion that you're not perfect the way you are, that you have insecurities, you still have wounds that need to be healed, you open yourself up to amplifying those things. And that's what happened here. They used it against her. Okay, they used it against her because she wasn't a grounded person. If she had been in her divine inheritance, if she had been walking in her divinity, which just means that she's at a place where she understands that she's perfect the way she is, that she's worthy of everything she has, and that she's abundant, this wouldn't have affected her because it wouldn't have been an energetic match. Throat chakra. Yep. Throat chakra. She was a speaker of truth. I trust in my gifts. Instead of thinking I'm putting confirmation, instead of thinking I put my family in danger, everyone, they're gonna get me, blah blah blah, she should have trusted that she was going in the right direction, that this was her mission and she'll be protected. So to choose joy instead, she chose fear. So she made herself susceptible to that energy. Worth. I told you. Worth. She didn't know her worth. She allowed people to dictate her worth, and that made her a target. All right. Thank you so much. Oh, message received. We never really have all the facts. As humans, we still only understand a tiny fraction of our own minds, let alone the world or the oceans or space or technology or spirituality. If someone tells you they have all the answers, call them out on that bullshit. The truth is they're winging it. Just like you, just like everyone else. She didn't have all the answers. She was trying to reveal truth about things she didn't understand. She should have realized that something strange was going on here, and not, instead of being in denial of what she was being shown, to do research on that so she could become a warrior of that. She was being just like that preacher that was being guided, but he wasn't listening to the signs. He came into contact with a high level satanic person that was very well versed in the spirituality world. Ray LeVay, the daughter of Anton LaVey. And so God was trying to prepare him for that, but he wasn't reading the signs. And then when he came into contact with this experience, he wasn't ready for it. And he almost died trying to, in a certain situation. You have to see the interview. So that's kind of like this situation. She went down a road where she thought she knew everything about one aspect of it, but when she was starting to be shown signs that there may be another aspect over here you got to start being aware of so you're not susceptible to this energy, she was denying it. She wasn't able to really accept that part of it because it was so far outside of her her realm. And so that's something that God is telling us, that just because you feel in your mind that that's something that's not possible, there are a million other people that do think it's possible. So we should be observers of this information instead of shutting things down, because we don't know in what ways it's going to affect us. But just having the awareness that it's possible, and this is something that I don't have to like figure out what it is, but I should at least do a little research so I'm aware, so that way if it ever comes up, I'm gonna know a little something. That is the way we should approach most things, but instead we shut things down, and it limits our potential to overcome them, because our belief is that it can't be real because that's not real for me, but it's real for many people. So that's like the lesson here, and I really appreciate it. So thank you so much to Kyle. Thank you so much for coming to us. I'm so happy to have been able to give the message, and I love you so much. I hope it helps. Bye, guys.